Okay, I started to put this in the last video, and then the last video was getting a little bit long, and so I split it up, and we're going to do it here. What we're going to do in this video is I'm just going to show you some ways to clean up the code a little bit in order to make it more scalable. In other words, in order to make it where it would be okay if you were writing hundreds or even thousands of lines of code, make life a lot easier for yourself. And so, as I mentioned in the book that these videos are a part of, this is some wisdom for you. You won't really believe me until you've made the mistakes that I've made, and then you realize, okay, these are much better ways of doing things. And right now, obviously, with this program, it's going to seem really trivial to do what I'm about to tell you to do, but I promise you, in the long run, it will pay off in many, many big ways. All right, so one of the first things is, so what we just had done was we created this program that just shows a red circle for, I told you to put 1 second. I put 10 so that I could drag it over from my second screen that's not getting recorded here, where it always seems to pop up. But for however long you had it, this rest here, that's how long it showed the red circle for, and then it went away, and then your program says, so that's all it's doing, right? It's very simple. And right here, the all draw filled circle, this is the function where we define the parameters of the circle. We're going to stick it right in the middle of the screen at 400, 300 pixels. We're going to make it 30 pixels in diameter. And we're going to make it this color, and we made it red, right? So for the red, green, blue colors, we had 255, 0, 0, and that makes a nice red circle. But now, think about this. Suppose you wanted to draw, say, 100 of these things, and you wanted them all to be different sizes, but you wanted them all to be the same color. Now, obviously, you can just copy and paste this, but now imagine that you've done that. You've copied and pasted it like 50 or 100 or 500 times, and you've changed all the sizes to what you wanted them to be. And then you decide, hey, maybe I need the color to be blue instead of red, right? Or maybe I just need a more subtle red. Maybe it's too bright of a red. Maybe I need to desaturate that red a little bit. Whatever it is, now you've got like however many dozens or hundreds of these things you've got to go and change. So I'm going to show you a much more elegant way to deal with that problem and a much more practical way, especially as your code begins to get reasonably complex. So what we're going to do here is instead of defining this color right here in the draw circle function, I'm going to make up a name for it. Let's call it circle color, right? Now circle color is going to be a well, it's actually going to be an Allegro, something called an Allegro color. In the old days, it would have been an integer, but here it's going to be something called an Allegro color. And so it's all caps, Allegro underscore color. And an Allegro color is not a pointer, so we're not going to use that. Actually, we haven't even talked about pointers yet, but we're not going to have to use that asterisk. And so Allegro color, circle color, there it is. And down here, right after we initialize the display, I am going to initialize the circle color. Circle color equals all underscore map underscore RGB 255 0 0 0. So basically the same thing that we were doing right here, right? There's just the all map RGB that we had right here. And now we're instead just defining something called circle color. And this is a really handy way, by the way. You may be, especially when you're developing a paradigm, an experiment, you may not know what color you want things to be. You just know that you're going to want the target to be a different color than the Q. You want Q1 to be a different color from Q2, and so on. And so you can use these as kind of placeholders, make them any color you want while you're developing it, and then decide on the color later on, and now it becomes very easy to change. But notice what's going to happen now here. Well, let's make sure it works first, right? Let's go ahead and run it and make sure that it still does the same thing it was doing before. Yep, there it is. There's our red circle hanging out for 10 seconds, and then it goes away. And then it goes away. There we go. All right, that went away. So now imagine you had like 100 of these things, and you decided to change that color from red to blue. Here, let's just do that. Why not? We're going to change it here. We're just going to put all of our eggs in the blue basket there. Let's make sure that worked. Oh, a green. Excuse me, green. RGB, not RBG. RGB, so that was green. And yep, there it is, green circle. Fantastic. So if you had 100 of these draw filled circle functions throughout your code, all of them making the same color, and then you change that color in the place where you defined it, you don't have to go through and find all those 100 instances and change it at this place in the draw filled circle function. So that's one way of making your code a little bit more usable, especially when you start to write long code. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you here is defining where you want to put it, and even the size. Actually, we'll do the size too. In fact, let's do the size first. So the size variable, actually all three of these are just integers, right? So we're going to define 3 integers. Int, I'm going to call one screen height, or screen underscore h, screen underscore, can you guess? W, right? Screen for screen width, and let's call it target location. Okay. And now, right here where I'm defining what color I want the circle to be, I'm also going to define the screen width and screen height. Let's see, screen height is going to be, now here we're going to draw on another Allegro function. Hang on one second, I have this in my cheat sheet over here somewhere. There it is. All underscore get display underscore height. And then what do we want to get the height of? We want to get the height of the display. Okay. And then similarly for screen width, all get underscore display, dang it, underscore. I keep hitting the close paren when I'm in to hit underscore. Width, and again we're getting the width of the display. All right, and then finally target location, and I'm just going to set that one, or I'm sorry, not location, right? Target size, dummy, referring to myself here. Size, target size. And we'll just define it for now as 30. In a later video, I'll show you how to actually make this a parameter in a parameter file that you can then change in a text file without recompiling your program. But that'll be a few videos down the road. Okay, so now why do we want to do it this way? Well, again, because we may have in a real experiment, we may have hundreds of these lines where we're drawing different kinds of targets, cues, and so on. And we might always, it's always handy to be able to refer to things like the screen width and the screen height. And also, we could create our display in up to whatever the maximum resolution of your monitor is. So it doesn't have to be 800, 600. You can make this, what is it, 1250 by 765, or some of them now are like 1600 by 900. I mean, there's different resolutions. You can change the resolution, and this will still allow you to find the center at all times. All right, so now down here in our draw filled circle, we're going to make this at the screen width divided by 2. So that's the x-axis, right? And here at the screen height divided by 2. And of course that is when we're creating the display at 800 by 600 pixels, this is going to be, screen width divided by 2 is going to be 400. Screen height divided by 2 is going to be 300. And then change this 30 to target size, not target location. Okay, and now if I change any of these, they'll change here. And obviously if I only have one of these, it would be handier to just change it here to begin with, but when I have hundreds of these, it's going to be a lot handier to just change these parameters right here and have it changed at all of the instances I have where I'm drawing a circle or doing whatever it is I'm doing. Okay, let's make sure this works. Indeed it does. Still drawing my green circle now. And now it's going to go away, and I think that's enough for this video. So now just a couple of things for you to do. Somebody's trying to call me, so this is a good place to stop.